Let's be real. Everyone wants to talk about how to get rich. But honestly, that's the wrong question. Getting rich is easy compared to the real problem. The hard question is how to stop being poor. And today, we're going to break down the physics of it.
You see, most people have it all wrong. They think poverty is just a number in your bank account. It's not. Poverty isn't a state of being. It's a trap. It's a system with its own gravitational pull, designed to keep you right where you are, spinning your wheels until you've got nothing left. I want you to think about this like we're launching a rocket. For a rocket to actually get into space, it has to hit something called escape velocity. Now, here is the part that should absolutely terrify you. Using 99% of your fuel doesn't get you 99% of the way to the moon. No, it gets you 0% of the way. You just fall right back to Earth. It's all or nothing.
And this is the trap so many of us fall into. You work a little harder, maybe you save a few bucks, but then, boom, the car breaks down, the rent gets hiked up. Gravity always wins. Because you didn't hit that escape velocity, you fall all the way back to square one. This is why the advice, just work a little harder, is maybe the worst advice you could ever get. Linear effort is useless against a force like this. You need an exponential push.
So, where does all this gravity come from? Well, the first set of forces aren't out there in the world. They're inside your own head. These are the mental chains that literally rewire your brain to hold you down.
Let's talk about something called the scarcity tax. A major Harvard study discovered that when your mind is just consumed by financial stress, worrying about bills, rent, just putting food on the table, your effective IQ drops by 13 points. To put that in perspective, that's the same as losing an entire night of sleep.
Look, this isn't some clever metaphor. You are literally operating with a damaged mental processor. You can't possibly think about next month, let alone next year, when your brain is in a state of constant panic just trying to survive the next 10 minutes. This is the hidden reason people make what seem like bad decisions, like taking out a high-interest payday loan. It's not a character flaw, it's a brain under siege. And the next chain, well, it's even more messed up.
This perfectly illustrates why being poor is actually mathematically more expensive. It's called the Vimes boots theory. See, a rich man can afford to buy $50 boots that'll last him 10 years. But a poor man, he can only afford the $10 boots, which fall apart. So he has to replace them every single year. Over that decade, the poor man has spent $100, twice as much, and his feet were probably wet the entire time. The system itself penalizes you for not having money.
The second mental chain is something I call the dopamine trap. When your life is just one stress after another, your brain is screaming for an escape, for any kind of relief. That shiny new phone isn't really a purchase. It's a form of self-medication. It's a quick hit of dopamine that makes you feel in control, just for a second. But here's the brutal truth. That feeling of relief lasts for a moment, but the debt, that can last for years.
But listen, this isn't just a battle you're fighting inside your own head. The moment you start to fight back, you realize there are these huge external forces, the system's chains, that are actively working to pull you right back down. We're all taught the same basic formula. Time equals money, right? If you want more money, you just work more hours. But there's a fatal flaw in that equation. You only have 24 hours in a day. That is a mathematical ceiling you can never, ever break. The game is rigged against you from the start.
And while your income has a hard cap, your expenses sure don't. This is where inflation, the silent killer of wealth, just eats you alive. The price of gas, groceries, rent, it all goes up, but your paycheck doesn't keep pace. You're working harder and harder every year just to find yourself falling further behind. It's like you're running up an escalator that's moving down faster than you can climb.
So how do you break out of this time for money trap? You have to change the game. You stop selling your time and you start selling unique value. We call this the skill stack. You don't have to be the best in the world at one thing. Just get pretty good at 2 or 3 completely unrelated things and combine them. A construction worker who also learns sales, they're not just a worker anymore. They're a contractor who can go out and land 6-figure deals. That is how you shatter the income ceiling. And now for the last chain. And honestly, this one might be the most painful of all, social gravity. Pay close attention here. If you are trying to climb out of the bucket, but the 5 people you spend the most time with have accepted being in that bucket, they will pull you back down. It's not usually because they're bad people. It's because you escaping reminds them that they're still stuck in the cage.
Okay, so we've mapped the prison, we understand the physics of the trap. If you've stuck with me this far, get ready, because this next part is where everything changes. This isn't theory anymore. This is the step-by-step escape plan.
This is how you build your rocket engine.
First things first, we need a fundamental mindset shift. It's simple, but it's critical. The poor see money as a tool to get pleasure. The wealthy see money as a tool to get freedom. You absolutely must understand the difference between an asset and a liability. It's this simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Your new mission is to stop buying liabilities and start buying assets.
All right, here is your immediate action plan. Your first job isn't to get rich, it's to stop the bleeding. Step 1, and you can start this today, build a $1,000 emergency buffer. This isn't spending money, this is you buying back your brainpower. Step 2, enter monk mode. For the next 90 days, you're going to cut every single non-essential expense. Think of it like a detox for your spending habits. And step 3, you take every dollar you save from monk mode and you become a debt assassin. You hunt down and kill your high-interest debt. It's the financial vampire that's been sucking you dry.
This whole escape plan really just breaks down into 3 simple stages. You've just completed stage 1, survival. You've stopped the bleeding, you've stabilized the patient. Now, the real work of building the engine begins in stage 2, accumulation. And that leads you finally to stage 3, freedom.
So, what does stage 2 actually look like? Well, it starts small. You just begin buying productive assets. And the simplest, most effective way to start is with a low-cost index fund. That's just a single investment that lets you own a tiny piece of hundreds of the biggest companies all at once. We're not talking about a lot of money, maybe $10 a day. You're not gambling, you are patiently buying a slice of the entire economy and letting it go to work for you.
This quote from Einstein really gets to the heart of the matter. This is the single most powerful force in the financial universe. And your mission, your entire game, is to cross the line from being the person who pays compound interest on your debts to being the person who earns it on your assets. That's it. That's the whole game.
And this brings us to the final stage, freedom. This is the moment you hit escape velocity. It's the point where the money your assets are generating is enough to cover your basic living expenses. You are no longer forced to trade your time for money just to survive. You have officially broken free from the gravitational pull of poverty.
You know, all these chains we've talked about, the scarcity tax, the dopamine trap, the social gravity, they feel like they're made of solid steel, don't they? But they're not. They're forged in your mind. The most important thing to realize is that escaping poverty isn't some kind of magic. It's just physics. And the door to your cage, it's been open this whole time.
So here's my challenge to you, right now. This system is designed to keep you trapped. Your own fear wants you to stay put. But you now have the escape plan. You understand the physics. So the only question I have for you is this. What is the one, single, small step you are going to take today to start building your engine? Let me know down in the comments.